Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to Spa-Francorchamps, and it's race one here of this round at Spa. We're looking forward to it, of course, here at the Ardennes Forest. The sun beating down upon the circuit. Of course, the spectators here in abundance here for the 24-hour Spa weekend, and Formula Regional European Championship bring their cars here too. 35.6 degrees track temperature, 49% RH humidity, with air pressure standing at 969.0. We're going to be in for a very exciting race, to say the least. And the story is, so far, folks, the two championship front runners, Dino Beganovic and Gabriele Mini, starting on the front row of the grid. But, of course, because Dino Beganovic's group in qualifying were the quicker of the bunch, they will, of course, have that predominant side on the grid. Of course, lining up on that right-hand side. And then you've got Gabriele Mini starting on the left. So looking forward to seeing who can get down through towards turn one at La Source first. Of course, it's going to be very exciting, to say the least. And we will wait and see who can come out on top. Beganovic registered a time of a 2:15.292, which lent him the fastest lap in his session of qualifying in Group A. They were the last of the group, certainly the last group to go out on track as well. The cars now making their way out on the circuit towards the grid formations. And we will eventually see them all head off on their formation lap as well. Obviously, plenty of items to look forward to, but also a little bit of housekeeping, because Gabriel Bortoleto and Hadrian David, of course, Hadrian David, who registered a P1 quali lap yesterday, unfortunately, because of an engine change, that would be his third engine change this season, it meant that he had to take a penalty, and he's now been reduced to the back area of the grid, starting from certainly the left-hand side. Gabriel Bortoleto also starting from the back, because he has also taken an engine change for this particular event. So they're going to have to work their way from the rear of the field towards the front. But certainly knowing their pace, I would imagine it's going to be very thrilling towards that rear. Here's Gabriele Mini, the Italian, second in the championship. 9 points is all that separates him. And, of course, the man on top, Dino Beganovic, too. And Paul Aaron, who is sitting in behind his teammate, as well as Sebastian Montoya, who's behind him. Prema lined up 1, 2 and 3 in their group after qualifying. It was a wonderful effort. Paul Aaron, of course, sitting in second fastest in that Group A. Sebastian Montoya was third fastest in that same group. And there is Dino Beganovic, our championship leader, the Swede, on the front row, starting from P1 pole position. For Beganovic, looking to bounce back after a difficult visit to Hungaroring, which saw them out of the podium places for the first time at this championship. Gabriele Mini also alongside, looking to try and follow up his decent run of form. He's been certainly in the top end of things, P2 up in the top end for his last 5 starts, and has done extremely well to continue this rich vein of form. Let's see if he can continue that today. Paul Aaron, he himself, fastest yesterday. Not quite able to typify his teammate today, but no doubt delighted at his performance. Second place in Group A, and starting from where he does, third place on the grid. And there in behind as well, further back, we've got car number 17, that belonging to Sami Meguetounif, who was threatening for that top order spot. It was taken away, though, by Gabriele Mini. But a very good showing from Sami Meguetounif. I'm sure he'll be absolutely delighted with his performance on that occasion. And then we, of course, have another Prema in behind as well, challenging this season for that rookie championship, Sebastian Montoya, who is in behind, being supported on by Juan Pablo Montoya as well. Hadrian David there at the back of the grid, of course, forced to take that engine change, which was certainly hampered his prospects in this particular race, but nevertheless, he'll certainly give it 100% to try and get himself back up to the top end of things. And Team Trident, another team looking to perform this weekend. Leonardo Fornaroli very much in the mix for the rookie championship himself, leading that championship, in fact, on 47 points. Very successful run so far this season. But he has got Sebastian Montoya breathing down his neck on 44 points. Only mere fractions separate those at the top end. Tim Tramnitz also in the mix in that championship too. And he currently sits in third in the rookie standings, 22 points to his name as well. But it's going to be a good race. Certainly Eduardo Barrichello, another man that was very impressive in his session of qualifying. and certainly looking to try and bring himself back up into the routine of things as well. Managed to park himself fourth in his group. Kaz Havercourt, and a man who's been consistently up at the top end, claimed a win as well at Hungary himself as well. His maiden win this season, which was brilliant to see. And Van Amersfoort will look to try and get themselves further up as well. Up Spa, obviously plenty of opportunities across the grid order. So we'll have to see who can exploit it the best. Obviously, the push-to-pass system is going to be very active here in this race. You can use it twice in a single lap here at Spa because, of course, it's a 2-minute plus lap. Of course, there's the longest circuit on the calendar. So it certainly will open up the doors in terms of strategy, get the drivers thinking a little bit about how they want to approach things heading into the race. But RPM also out on track. They're out in full force. Pietro Deli Guanti, who unfortunately took a trip into the gravel trap yesterday and had a little bit of an uncomfortable exit out of La Source, but nevertheless back here again, looking to perform here. Car number 4, that belongs to Roman Belinsky, another man full of promise as well, rookie championship contender, and 5th place in that championship as things stand, but showing great promise all the time in this series, and actually qualified 6th fastest in his Group A as well. So big credits there to Roman Belinsky. Got talking to him this morning on the way to the track, and he's feeling certainly better than he was yesterday, in actual fact, in terms of when we go racing this afternoon. Tim Tramnitz, we just saw on the grid there as well, as I alluded to earlier on, 3rd in the Rookie Championship, but no doubt looking to strike an imposition on many here in this race this afternoon. And as I said, it's going to get very warm out there. The conditions very, very dry indeed. Lots of sunshine, clear blue skies in places. A few clouds dotted around, but they're all pearly white. There's Marie Boyer as well. Very excited about the race ahead. Got talking to him too. It's a very very happy paddock here at Spa. All the drivers really excited to be racing here this afternoon, and they've all cited the opportunities that the push-to-pass can give them, up to approximately 7 to 8 tenths of a second, even without slipstream here at this circuit. That's what they've declared. Santiago Ramos also out on track. He's going to be looking to go out with a bang, or start with a bang indeed, and give it absolutely everything possible. There is car number 64, that belonging to Esteban Masson, of course, driving for ART this weekend, making the one of the drivers to make the leap in terms of team transfers, has moved across from FA Racing to ART. So it'll be interesting to see how his new colours certainly suit him as we go racing here at Spa-Francorchamps. But there you can see plenty of consulting between the teams and their drivers, obviously prepping ahead of the race we have got coming to you. Very exciting here, to say the least. Here as well, we have another FA Racing car, that belonging to another than Francesco Braschi, another man who has made a transition. He's excited to be stepping into this car as well. And he cited the fact that it's great to be working with a new team. Obviously excited to see what they can do together. And we'll wait and see what they can deliver at Spa as well. RPM, Owen Tangavelu, a man himself who was actually very, very impressive in qualifying as well. He was actually one of the standouts. He was actually at the top end at one point. Unfortunately, dropped back at the end of qualifying to P9 in his group, so ended up dropping off, but certainly showed some signs of pace towards the end of quali. But we'll have to see if he can unleash the same thing in the race. He'll be looking to further his prospects as we make our way through. Victor Bernier on the grid for FA Racing as well, lining up for them, as well as this man, car number 5, belonging to Matteo Capietto of Monolight Racing. And they're lining up with a new driver as well, Monolight Racing. They have got also Nicola Marinangeli coming in to the team this weekend. Of course, Nicola Marinangeli raced in the championship last season, and he's back again this time for his first running of this season at Spa as well. The umbrellas all out and about, trying to keep the sun off the drivers. Obviously, it's warm enough down there without the sun coming down upon you. So they need to make sure they are well and truly conditioned before heading out, because it's a long circuit, certainly a long lap. And these drivers need to be up to the mark in order to contend certainly for positions on the grid. But certainly based off what we saw in qualifying, it's going to be very, very exciting. The main opportunities that have been identified in terms of the push to pass have been Kemmel. The Kemmel Straight, that high incline, of course, you reach the highest point of the track at the top of the elevation leading in towards Les Combes. And then, of course, you can use it coming around the left-hander at Blanchimont and leading into the heavy braking zone at the bus stop chicane. So you can very easily go late on the brakes if you have the opportunity, make a move down the inside, and that is an opportune moment, certainly for many. This middle sector is going to be very key as well. We saw in qualifying cars getting bunched up in the midfield, just trying to get themselves ready for their hot laps. I'd imagine we'll see some more helter-skelter activity in the race as well, which is going to be very interesting indeed. So just a quick word on tyres, because of course starting this season, and it's been a factor all season long, the new Pirelli tyres that have heightened grip levels, and they've been working together with the championship in order to bring out a new tyre this year that can enhance the grip levels and therefore the pace as well. And it certainly seems to have brought about some a different level of racing this year, which is very exciting to see. And certainly couple that with the push-to-pass system as well, giving you that additional 7 to 8 tenths a lap. It's going to be thrilling to see who can make the most of it, certainly around at Spa, given the plenty opportunities that we have here at this circuit. But word on Spa here at Stavelot, 70,000 capacity here at this particular circuit, and opened all the way back in August 1921. As now we see the marshals getting the teams off the circuit. They will very soon be heading out on a formation run before we then get out for the start of the race. And you can see them all clearing the decks, getting ready for the getaway. And it'll be a case of getting the cars all warmed up and ready to go. 7.004 kilometers. That's 4.352 miles that await the drivers here over a single lap, with 19 turns around this circuit. And very shortly we will see them make their way out. And you can just see there the marshals on the left-hand side looking to clear the decks, get through towards the pit lane. A very, very busy pit lane this weekend with multiple cars here. But the Formula Regional European Championship is going to be absolutely sensational. We're looking forward to bringing it to you. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves at home. Looking forward to this event, as we are as well. As you can see, Dino Beganovic on the left-hand side. We go green here now. And the formation lap will get underway. Gabriele Mini alongside Dino Beganovic in second place, with Paul Aaron in behind there. Sami Meguetounif getting a run as well out at the front end of things. A very good visit certainly from him. And he'll look to follow up that as well with potentially some big points on the table. And Paul Aaron not getting the best of getaways. Obviously he'll want to try and fix that for when we start the race, because it may not matter horrendously too much now. But here's the grid. Beganovic, Dino Beganovic on pole position, with Gabriele Mini in second, Paul Aaron in third, Sami Meguetounif in fourth place for MP Motorsport. P5 goes to Sebastian Montoya for Prema, with Leonardo Fonaroli, top rookie, alongside him. Eduardo Barrichello, seventh, Kaz Havercourt in eighth for Van Amersfoort. P9 went to Lorenzo Fluxer in R-Race GP colours, with Pietro Deli Guanti alongside him. Valinsky in 11th, with Tim Tramnitz in 12th, both for Trident, representing there, with Joshua Dufek 13th, Marie Boyer in 14th place for MP Motorsport. Ramos in 15th, with Esteban Masson in 16th for our ART, with Owen Tangabello in 17th for RPM, with Fernando Braschi alongside him. Matteo Capietto in 19th, Victor Bernier in 20th spot, with Revez in 21st place, Hamder Al-Kwabasi in 22nd, Noel Leone in 23rd, with Joshua Dirksen in 24th place, Lawrence Van Hoopen after that puncture, 25th place, alongside Zagazzetta in 26th. Pietro Armani in 27th, alongside Nicola Marinangeli on that row of the grid, with Nicholas Baptiste 29th, Delano Van Hoff in 30th. Watel Wisnicki in 31st, with Hadrian David after that engine change 32nd. And of course, Gabriel Bortoleto, the Brazilian, also with an engine change, starts at the back of the grid, 33rd place. So those are your runners and riders heading through towards the start of this, certainly this race here at Belgium. We're going to look forward to seeing who can break away first, who's going to have that run leading out of La Source, who's braver on the brakes. That's what you've got to ask yourself. Can Paul Aaron fix that start, of course? Didn't get the getaway for the formation lap. Obviously, you'll be looking to fix that for the start of this race. You can see them aggressively warming up the tyres. That was certainly a feature we saw in qualifying, opting to take an additional lap to make sure that they were at optimal temperature before then setting their fast laps. So let's see if that's another reoccurrence again. You could just see them there coming around Blanchimont, getting themselves right up to temp and rounding that Blanchimont left-hander now before then venturing in towards bus stop chicane. And we will be going green here in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, the Spa race, the historic circuit. I'm sure we'll see more history being made here today. Can Dino Beganovic correct the issues that he had at Hungaroring that led to him not getting a podium for the first time this season, pretty much? He's been on a humongous run since the start of the championship, and you'll be looking to bounce back, I am sure, with yet another podium to his name. But it's interesting to see the two rookie winners from last year, the rookie championship winners of Dino Beganovic here at Spa. Gabriele Mini won race 2. It was Dino Beganovic who won the rookie class in race 1. So they're both fighting it out on the front row of the grid this year in 2022. All cars now lining up into their respective positions, getting that last little bit of weaving just to get the last bit of heat into those tyres before they can get away. Just goes to show how important it really is to get that rubber up and running. Definitely in that technical middle sector as well, when you've got to handle the likes of Le Farnier, have Campus, Stavolo, then leading in towards Sector 3. You'll need it heading around Blanchimont as well. Out of Corbeil Paul Frere, and then of course the chicane at bus stop as well. It's going to be intriguing, to say the least. There's Gabriel Bortoleto. He's going to be the last of the cars to line up with that engine change. There you have it, car number 85. And a green flag now being waved. And here come the lights. Second light, third light, fourth light, and the fifth light here at Spa. And it is pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. Dino Beganovic got away so well. So did Gabriele Mini to an extent, running onto the grass as well. In behind Sebastian Montoya, who goes down the inside now at La Source, but still Paul Aron holds on to his advantage in third place. A great battle, certainly already from the get-go between the two teammates. They're literally side by side now, heading up through towards what will be Eau Rouge, and of course Radion, but no questions as to who's on top. It is Dino Beganovic who leads. The Team Tridents as well, moving their way up further down as well as they now make the almighty climb up through the Kemmel Straight. Now this is where we've seen the slipstream oh so useful. You can see as well the FA Racing cars getting nip and tucked together as well as they now lead through towards Les Combes. Gabriele Mini goes for it here in towards Les Combes. Can he? Oh, he's off the track. Beganovic managing to hold on. Oh, there's a car off. There's a car off now. I'm not sure. Was that Sebastian Montoya who has gone off at that point? It looked like it was, just ventured into the gravel. And as a result, I believe as moved further down, we will get clarification on that. We're now watching the cars make their way through Brochel's corner. They will have the Jackie X Bend as well coming up next here with just over 28 minutes to go now. As you can see, all the cars making their way through. The RPM Motorsport team as well looking to try and make some places. Now they round Poo on. It's Beganovic though and Gabriele Mini who certainly led from the front. It got very close between the pair leading in towards Les Combes. Paul Aron still very much in behind those as well. And we'll have to look further down. Gabriel Bortoleto obviously looking to make some charges as well, as we're seeing a little tussle there between car number 8. That's belonging to Zagazeta, who's trying to fight his way through. He's going side by side right now with, I believe, Hamdar Al-Kwabasi, who's trying to hold him off as they make their way in through towards the next right. Again, more side-by-side action as they work their way through towards the next right-hander. It's still Beganovic on top, though. Gabriele Mini in second place. Sami Meguetounif has managed to jump Paul Aron as well and move third place with Leonardo Fonaroli as they make their way out of Blanchimont Curve, now down through towards the bus stop chicane. Already from the get-go, we've witnessed how good Kemmel can be, certainly when it comes to overtaking, given the opportunity there for Gabriele Mini. A lock up there as they make their way through bus stop, as more and more cars filter their way through, getting so close as they now venture out of bus stop down the long home straight. It's still currently, as it was from the start, Beganovic leading as we're watching them make their way down through towards the first corner at La Source now. There you can see more smoke coming through, overtakes being made, plenty of them as well. Further back, you can see that Hamdar Al-Kwabasi is getting right into the mix of it. Lawrence Van Hoopen there in the mix as well. Gabriel Bortoleto has jumped so many places. Remember, he started from the back. He is now 23rd place and absolutely flying. There's Hamdar Al-Kwabasi trying to gain very, very carefully now on Zagazeta. Will utilise the slipstream, making their way up towards Les Combes. Paul Aron also looking to jump Sami Meguetounif in towards Les Combes. Paul Aron Aaron takes back that third place in gargantuan fashion indeed. Very smart move heading through Les Combes, and they'll venture in towards Malmedy. As you can see, the cluster of cars now fighting for position, tussling here. So are the two Trident cars, who are very much in the mix between each other as they now come down in towards the next right at Bruxelles. Roman Belinsky leading that contingent. Tim Tramnitz dropping back with Lorenzo Fluxer in the mix as well. Oh, the two FA cars getting through past the RPM as well as they ride through that left-hander at Speaker's Corner and making their places up as well. The two RPMs certainly have been right in the mix of it so far. So we watch Pietro Deleguante currently sat in 13th place, registering round in that next left. Of course, Marie Boyer just in behind, looking to try and gain as well, as we're now watching all the cars come through. Hamder Al-Kwabassi, who's been right into the mix of things, still chasing after Zagazeta. And that is a battle for that 20th place spot. And heading through this next right now. They'll then undertake Campus and Stavolo before then reaching the Blanchimont section. Again, an opportunity for the push to pass. Should any of the drivers want to utilize it heading into the heavy braking zone, they can only use it on 5 separate occasions throughout the race. So they need to be very sparing and actually pick their moments as well. So do keep your eyes peeled for that as we now watch Dino Beganovic make his way in through bus stop. Gabriele Mini in second place. Paul Aron still holding his own in third. Sami Meguetounif has yet to fight back against Paul Aron, but you've got to wonder that long straight up Kemmel will provide certainly a chance, as now we're seeing more side-by-side action leading out of bus stop as we're seeing them make their way down through towards La Source. And that, without question, Owen Tangavellu getting right in the mix of things with Marie Boyer just trying to find his way through as well. The FA Racing cars also right in the mix as well. And we're going to get a replay of the start as well. It was a great start by Beganovic. Gabriele Mini got a good start too, just wasn't quite able to get to the inside. Paul Aron, of course, had Sebastian Montoya for company, his teammate, who went very largely into the turf, making his way in towards Les Combes. And they went side by side on the outset too, leading up through Eau Rouge and Radion, as we're now looking. And we could see the cluster of cars right in the middle. Oh, a little bit of a moment as well further back. That was a FA Motorsport car of Francesco Braschi as well. And we had some contact between Paul Aron and Montoya, which led to Montoya going off into the gravel. That was the moment that we all saw. Sami Meguetounif was able to profit off that as well, as we now resume to live action. And it is certainly going to be Dino Beganovic still on top and still leading as part of the Prema team. Prema would have probably preferred to keep their 3 drivers fighting at the top end. Unfortunately, Montoya now further down, 24th place after that moment in the gravel. So he is on a full recovery mission right now. And he is going to be chasing Hamder Al-Kwabassi, who's currently sat in 22nd, who was in the mix. Gabriel Bortoleto has managed to move up to 21st now. He has made so many places and doing an absolutely tremendous job after starting from the back. Hadrian David has moved up to 25th. Here in the classification, of course. Remember, he was one of the other cars that had the engine change for the start of this race. But it's still Beganovic on top, just over 6/10 of a second. The gap between the two championship front runners. Gabriele Mini, remember, folks, literally 9 points between the pair right now. Paul Aron, as we just saw in picture, making his way through Blanchimont corner. He is trying to keep Sami Meguetounif at bay, but bear in mind, only 7.5 tenths between the two, and that's going to come down more and more as they venture through towards bus stop, and he will have the push to pass operational potentially leading up through towards Kemmel, not to mention the slipstream, which is very powerful here at Spa, as we're seeing some side-by-side here, and that is car number 5 belonging to Matteo Capietto, tussling it out here, and as they make their way out of the section, trying to get himself clear, wasn't able, did manage to get past Fernando Braschi, I believe, and he's dropped back down into 18th place. And Bortoleto also making his way up into 19th as well. What a race so far he's having at this point, as now we're watching Capietto and Braschi now make their way up through towards Eau Rouge and Radion, as Matteo leads the charge. In behind, you can see them just getting very close, nip and tuck, nose to tail near enough, as Francesco Braschi tries to find his way through side-by-side action again as they now find their way up through towards Les Combes. Nothing separates any of these now. You can see all the action happening out on circuit, and that Tim Tramnitz as well, firing on all cylinders. Oh, Ria getting slipped out as well. And as you can now see the car just zipping through Malmedy. There, of course, is Kaz Havercourt, who's now in 7th place. He's been battling in amongst in the top end of things. been very close between all the drivers on the track so far. Spa certainly does not disappoint when it comes to racing action. Eduardo Barrichello has managed to dispatch Fornaroli for that 5th spot as well, so he's getting right up into the mix of things. This could be a huge race for Eduardo Barrichello. Big points on the table for those up in the top 10, that's for sure. And Beganovic still leads the way. Gabriele Mini in 2nd. Paul Aron still holding on to 3rd spot. He's actually trying to marshal a deficit between him and Sami Meguetounif. The car's still strung out, a little slip of the rear heading out of that left-hander. That, of course, is Le Farnier. Once you get on the outset of that, we saw Hadrian David skip into there a few times in qualifying, or a couple of times indeed, and which led to him obviously having to go again on another lap. And certainly you wouldn't tee up a best possible position for your car. Obviously you'd have to get the tyres resettled as well, as we're watching Beganovic making his way down through towards bus stop. Gabriele Mini still hot on his tail there in 2nd place. And the Prema Racing team watching on. Paul Aron as well in 3rd place, trying to gain. In fact, he has gained a little bit here on Gabriele Mini. He was outside of 2nd. We'll have to see what that looks like now as they cross the start-finish line. And he has broken that 2nd gap now. So Paul Aron now within a 2nd and closing, as we're seeing more side-by-sides now as they make their way down through towards turn 1. And we are watching what looks to be the RHGP team trying to lunge forward. More action as well further back as well. It's all happening here at Spa-Francorchamps as they round turn 1 indeed. That's Laurens van Hoopen, who had that issue in qualifying. Yet again, more side-by-side action over between that of Bortoleto as well, who's battling here with Francesco Braschi, and it is Bortoleto who's managed to go ahead there of Francesco up into 18th place as well. But further back, more battling because Zagazzetta has got Laurens van Hoopen for company as well, leading up the Kemmel Straight. It got so close between that pairing as they make their way up through towards Les Combes, and it will be car 64. Esteban Masson as well battling with that Victor Bernier for that 15th place, and has managed to cultivate the move as well and get it done. So great work there from Masson to then hold on to 15th and keep it away from Victor Bernier. Great moments here, certainly at Spa already, and we're only here 19.5 minutes still to go, so plenty more to watch out for, folks. Obviously all the cars still in tandem. The drivers were saying leading up to this event there's going to be lots of action, very close indeed. In the push to pass, we're seeing a skipping of the gravel as well further up, and that's going to provide an opportunity certainly for more battling further down as well. That car belongs to Pietro Deli Guante, with Sebastian Montoya now flicking past him and moving up a spot as well, up into 23rd place for Montoya. So a wonderful move and capitalising after that venture into the gravel trap for Pietro Deli Guante. The RPM Motorsport car now in behind. He'll be in 24th place as opposed to the 23rd that he held beforehand. He's got another Prema breathing down his neck, that being Hamder El Kouabassi, who's going to give him certainly a headache. But Sebastian Montoya, and after a decent qualifying session, he just had that crucial error, didn't he, heading through Les Combes, which well, after that clipping of Paul Aron led him into the gravel trap. And obviously the Prema team wouldn't have appreciated that, but nevertheless he's come back and he's working hard to try and rein in the position. So a wonderful effort from Montoya, certainly to get the moves done where necessary, as we see more side-by-sides as they filter through in through bus stop chicane. And again, that's Francesco Braschi, this time with Gabriel Bortoleto for company as well. Bortoleto having a tremendous race so far, fighting back, and he is trying to marshal yet again another increase in prospects, as now we're seeing more side-by-sides leading down towards La Source. And this time that's Poitou Viznicki, this time scrapping with Nicolas Baptiste for that 31st position. Baptiste trying to keep Viznicki in behind him, has done just that as well. Baptiste doing well, and Nicola Marinangeli will be further back as we witness a replay here. This is the Francesco Braschi battle here with Laurens van Hoopen, and the two cars very close to colliding heading through bus stop. Very nip and tuck, very close, and unfortunately for Van Hoopen had to take the escape road and effectively rejoin the circuit, but nevertheless ahead of Braschi in that 19th place. As we're now watching the cars now venture out of that left-hander Jackie X corner, down in through towards Pouon, this deep-in swinger being led by Dino Beganovic, championship leader, still on top. In behind as well, Gabriele Mini, who again fastest. Both of these drivers, remember, rookie race winners here at Spa last season, and once again up at the top end of things here this season in 2022 and running a good race as well. As we can watch the others now filter their way through as well, looking to chase. As we see them, you can just see the rear slowly skipping out to them. That just goes to show how much these drivers are on the limit at this point. Francesco Braschi with Hadrian David now for company as well. Of course, Hadrian David also working his way up the field. He's driven also a great race. Both him and Gabriel Bortoleto had the engine change penalty starting from the back. So this fight back has certainly been very impressive, certainly from both drivers. Hadrian David, who's been fastest all weekend long. He captured P1 in the Test 1, and then, of course, Test 2. He did exactly the same before then scooping up P1 in qualifying yesterday in his group. Here comes Hadrian David now, looking to chase. He'll have an opportunity heading around Blanchimont, dips to the inside, and manages to just get his nose in front, running off wide as well. There is Francesco Braschi, but still, he'll look to try go down the inside and bust stop. Not this time. Hadrian David takes his position. A great move there for 20th place. Great move indeed from Hadrian David to follow up his exploit so far of moving from the back of the grid up higher now into the mid part of the field. As now we watch the cars make their way up through towards Eau Rouge and of course Radion as well. And you can see them all in tandem, still nose to tail. Plenty of battles across the grid order as we watch Leonardo Fornaroli, the current rookie championship leader, leading Kaz Havercourt, who's currently sat in behind him. Also, Lorenzo Fluxer has come into the mix too. It could be a three-wide situation here as Havercourt now goes to the inside, finds the pace, and certainly using the slipstream, maybe the push to pass as well, in towards Les Combes, has managed to get himself ahead, and so has Lorenzo Fluxer. They've both moved up a spot. 6th place now for Havercourt, 7th place for Lorenzo Fluxer. What a move, heading up through in towards Les Combes, and again, that goes to show the true pace of these cars, certainly with the slipstream. Kaz Havercourt, after his tremendous result at Hungary, has come back again, and he's hungrier than ever here at Spa as well, jumping up those necessary places ahead of Leonardo Fornaroli, who could only watch on at that point. But Team Trident, I'm sure, will be back again fighting with them, that's for sure. Leading through towards Pouon now, and Havercourt with hot on his tail, Lorenzo Fluxer, and Fornaroli watching on as we can now see the cars making their way down through towards the next chicane at Les Farniers. And wonderful racing has been so far. We've just come into the 15-minute mark now, 14.5 minutes at this point. Still Beganovic on top. He's actually broken out of that second gap. It's now 1.2 as things registered prior to them breaking into the next sector. Paul Aron as well in behind. He is 1.2 behind. Sami Meguetounif has reeled in the time as well. Only about half a second in behind that of Paul Aron as things stand. Eduardo Barrichello also trying to get into the mix of things. Managed to get to 5th place, remember, after that move earlier on. And certainly profited from it at that point. So a good showing certainly from all the cars so far. Plenty of battles, and it's all been really, really good to watch. Beganovic leading the charge. Gabriele Mini in 2nd place. Paul Aron, who has really got Sami Meguetounif for company now. Now this will certainly give Meguetounif an opportunity leading up towards Kemmel as we see more side-by-sides here with Victor Bernier. And of course in behind we saw him and Bortoleto coming together as well as they now lead down towards the next right at La Source. More side-by-sides as well further up as we see certainly the cars come together, that being Joshua Dufek and Marie Boyer now, who moves ahead and cements his position in 13th spot as now the cars venture up through the Kemmel Straight. There's Sami Meguetounif trying to gain this time on Paul Aron. A podium up for grabs certainly for Sami Meguetounif if he can apply himself and certainly apply the car in the right position. You can see there Paul Aron there in 3rd. There's Dino Beganovic now entering into Les Combes with Gabriele Mini right in behind as well. Further back, Eduardo Barrichello as well getting into the mix of things with yet again more battling leading up through Kemmel as well, side by side. 2 side-by-sides, in fact, as they now work their way in towards Les Combes. Oh, getting very close indeed. And that's Victor Bernier and Gabriel Bortoleto. And certainly further up, getting into the mix of things, we've got Esteban Masson as well. So it's getting very nip and tuck between all of these drivers here as well. Matteo Capietto into the heart of this. This is, in fact, Lawrence Van Hoopen, not Gabriel Bortoleto. In fact, folks, Lawrence Van Hoopen, who is trying to gain this time, but not quite able to cultivate the move on Matteo Capietto, who holds on at that point with Victor Bernier in between the pair. And as they now work their way in towards the next semi-chicane at Les Farniers, it will still be Beganovic. Further back, we can see the train of cars now enter into this next semi-chicane of sorts. And as they do so, they'll look to put the power down, put the hammer down and try and tackle. Oh, there's a car off there as well. And that's Nicola Marinangeli. the Motorlight Racing driver in his first visit back to the Formula Regional European Championship. And unfortunately, he's got it going again, but had to stop for quite a bit. He's at the back of the field in 33rd position, but not what he would have wanted at that moment in time. Beganovic, though, still leads. Gabriele Mini in second place. Paul Aron has still got Sami Meguetounif haunting him right now at this point, up at the front end. And as I said before, this is for P3 on track. Of course, Sami Meguetounif right into the mix of things here. He is, of course, part of the rookie contingent this season. And he's definitely got if it stays like this, a rookie win on the cards for himself. But I'm sure he would love an overall podium as well to boot as well, as they now make their way up through towards Eau Rouge and Raidillon. Paul Aron, the Estonian, doing his best to try and marshal the efforts there. Victor Bernier now with Lawrence Van Hoopen again. And Van Hoopen able to hold on at least for now, but I'm sure we'll see some more scrapping heading up through towards the Kemmel Straight. Van Hoopen with Bernier now getting closer and closer. The FA racing cars sweeping up through this next section as we watch them come over the brow. And there they are now. Here they come now. It is going to be, certainly at this point, the two cars going side by side, leading up through towards Les Combes. Who's going to come out on top in this affair as they work their way through? Fornaroli now down 2 places since the start. He is down into 8th spot as we watch Esteban Masson, who went side by side there with Marie, with what looks to be, in fact, further down, Gabriel Bortoleto, who was just in behind him at the start of this lap. There is Bortoleto. And the man who started from the back of the field with Masson for company. Bortoleto getting ahead of his teammate. And that will go a long way to his prospects as well. Bortoleto now 15th place after starting in 33rd, which is absolutely sensational. A great effort, certainly, from Bortoleto. It just goes to show what Spa can deliver. We have spoken about it all weekend, the opportunities that are on the table for all of these drivers. As we now have a look at the replay. And certainly as they now venture in through Les Combes, that was Pietro Armani. And that car belonging to Revez, who ended up losing out and moving off track. It's now since come back on it, though, I believe, so all okay as the car's now around this next right-hander. And still as things stand, Tim Tramnitz, we just saw in picture, trying to move up for Trident. He's currently 9th place, and he will be pleased with his efforts, to say the least. Of course, Tim Tramnitz was starting alongside Roman Belinsky, and Belinsky himself still very much on his tail, 10th place currently for Belinsky. So both cars in the points in this race. So now the cars come through in towards bus stop again, more side-by-sides as we watch them make their way through. And that, without a doubt, I believe is Hadrian David again, who's looking to try and gain more places. Francesco Braschi was very much there as well. So we're watching the cars venture outwards again. Down through towards what will be La Source. And as we now watch them move their way up, Kaz Havercourt, who we're currently watching in picture with Lorenzo Fluxer on his tail. These two have certainly got themselves a little bit more clean air now. Can Kaz Havercourt keep Fluxer in behind here with just over 8.5 minutes still remaining in this race? And defensive move here, Sami Meguetounif finally trying to make the move on Paul Aron. He's been certainly peppering at the rear of that Prema all race long, finds it through Malmedy, inside line here for Meguetounif, got so close between the pair, but they'll have the run down through towards Bruxelles. Here comes Meguetounif, he is in front now, he's in front now of Paul Aron. He got the run out of Malmedy, a great move indeed from Sami Meguetounif. He'll be absolutely thrilled with that. MP Motorsport moving now up into the podium places, and he is part of the rookie contingent. If it stays like this, it's an overall podium and a rookie win for Sami Meguetounif. Incredible effort from him. Eduardo Barrichello also coming into the fight, can actually smell Paul Aron right now. He's brought himself right into the mix. So as they make their way in towards what will be the next chicane at Les Farniers, and they'll skip through the next left as well as they come out of turn 13. Still Meguetounif now in third place, Paul Aron chasing. Let's see if he can get any slipstream leading out of what will be Blanchimont corner. And Paul Aron only registering down a place at this moment in time. Sami Meguetounif up 1. So the top 4 pretty much as they were at the start of the grid. Of course, Eduardo Barrichello now 5th place, trying to close on these. Kaz Havercourt, who is in 6th place with Fluxer for company as well. Those two were in tandem heading up the Kemmel Straight in the lap prior. But as we're now watching Meguetounif head through into the bus stop chicane. A wonderful performance so far from the Frenchman, with on his tail Paul Aron, who was the man who went fastest in yesterday's session in his group. And he was very pleased with that indeed. Said the team brought together a good package leading into the event. And hopefully they can get another one as well when they complete this race. Obviously got another race to come tomorrow as well, which was from qualifying one's grid. You saw the two groups coming together. But as we now watch the cars now venture out of the source, they will have the climb leading up through Eau Rouge and Radion. There is once again Kaz Havercourt. So they make their way up. You can see there Lorenzo Fluxer once again on his rear. And Lorenzo Fluxer just flexing his muscles now as he starts to marshal upwards. Paul Aron once again attacking Sami Meguetounif, trying to retake that P3. Not quite able to cultivate it through Les Combes, but can he do the same as what Meguetounif did to him? Leading out of Malmedy, can he get the run down through towards Bruxelles? But no, Meguetounif just a little bit too good around that bend, able to marshal off the attack there from the Prema car. So looking very smart indeed as they now venture down through Bruxelles corner, now through Jackie X Bend, the next left. Great visit from Meguetounif, and managing to hold on to that P3 ahead of the very pacey Paul Aron. And further back you can see Eduardo Barrichello following and watching on. He's got the best view in the house in terms of that fight, as we see more and more cars come through Pouon now. Further down we've got the likes of Owen Tangavelu, who is looking to chase on Roman Belinsky. And this is the battle we're seeing in front of us right now. Within behind we've also got Josh Dufek representing Team Van Amersfoort. Two Van Amersfoort cars very much in the scrap of things. Dufek trying to get himself into the top 10. He's got 2 places to gain before he can do that. Of course, Belinsky in 10th place, Tangavelu in 11th, Dufek in 12th spot, as the cars now round this next right-hander. And it'll lead them out to Paul Frere in towards Blanchimont very shortly. We've broken into the 5-minute mark now, folks. We're now into 4-minute territory. And it's still Beganovic on top. We've still got a 1.3 second advantage. Now here they come side by side as we watch Owen Tangavelu, this time on Roman Belinsky, and he gets the move done here in towards bus stop chicane for RPM. And a great move indeed. And he'll begin the next lap. Now ahead of him, Lorenzo Fluxer has also managed to pass Kaz Havercourt for that 6th place. So great work from him as well. Tangavelu now up into 10th place, with Belinsky now down into 11th. Joshua Dufek will now see perhaps a chance for himself as well, though he did slide a little bit heading out of La Source, which is not ideal, and that's going to allow Santiago Ramos to come in and maybe add his fuel to the fire as well in 13th place as they now wind up through Eau Rouge and Radion. Owen Tangavelu still leading the contingent, but Belinsky will know that he'll have the pace on the straight as well, as we're now seeing Paul Aron. Eduardo Barrichello got ahead of him as well, leading up the stretch. Paul Aron not content with that, tried to take him back again at Les Combes, but not able to deliver. So Barrichello now up into 4th place. So a great move from Eduardo. And he has got Sami Meguetounif next on his list, that's for sure. As now they round this next right at Bruxelles corner. And Gabriel Imini has surged clear of Sami Meguetounif. 3.5 seconds is near enough the gap between the pair. In fact, it's 6.7 in between the pair of them as well, from the leader anyway. 6.7 from the leader, 3.5 from Gabriel Imini. So Sami Meguetounif has got to try and drill into the circuit, try and drill in, get some more hot laps out, and try and close in on those further up. But further back, Eduardo Barrichello is going to be zoning right in on Meguetounif's MP Motorsport car and try and usurp him. Paul Aron, though, is far from done. I'm sure he'll be looking to try and retake the positions that he has lost. He's currently sat in that 5th place with now Barrichello ahead of him. There's Beganovic, who is still clear right now. Gabriel Imini is in behind him. The gap now between the pair at 3.2 seconds, so it's enlarged extensively since we last checked. The Swede has certainly marshalled together a wonderful performance yet again to add to his list of wins. Of course, his current win record stands at 3 overall. He could go 4 wins here and level up with his teammate Paul Aron this season, who also has 4 wins to his name, which will, I'm sure, mean a lot to him as we're now seeing more moves in towards bus stop, and that is certainly going to be the Van Amersfoort car making its way through. and taking that position as well, as you know, watch the cars make their way down through towards La Source. And Eduardo Barrichello still in fourth place. Paul Aron is still trying to chase him down. 1.5 a second between that pairing, as well as we're seeing the RPM car get a little bit out of shape as well. And as a result, looking at it, Joshua Dufek managing to move up as well, or at least try and challenge further back. We're just looking to see the action further down as well. We're seeing Pietro Armani trying to find his way through, as we're now seeing some more scraps leading up through Kemmel, as they now come up through towards Les Combes. Fornaroli being closely guarded and chased by that of Kaz Habacourt. Tim Tramnitz as well under a little bit of threat, as we're watching Roman Belinsky with Santiago Ramos just in behind as well, as they go side by side, and certainly getting very nip and tuck heading through Malmedy. But it is Joshua Dufek here, Belinsky as well under an increasing amount of pressure from Santiago Ramos as they come through the next right-hander of Brochel's corner, and they'll take the next left as well round the Jackie X bend, just grazing the curve. You can just see there, just slowly, just steadily working their way through. But again, Belinsky under a lot of pressure. Here comes now Santiago Ramos, and he gets ahead indeed, heading through towards Pouhon. A wonderful move there from Santiago Ramos, and that moves him up into 12th place. So a great effort nevertheless, and he'll then be chasing after Joshua Dufek, who's currently sat in 11th fastest, certainly at this moment in time for Van Amersfoort. But Belinsky will be looking to try and regather himself. He's got Marie Boyer right in behind him here, of course, representing MP Motorsport as well, as Beganovic now comes down through towards the start-finish line. And there we will be seeing now Dino Beganovic coming across the line, and there'll be 2 more laps to take. And after he's done his next lap, there will be another lap to take. So 2 laps remain as the timer is now counted down to 0, folks, because Beganovic took the line just before the timer clocked downwards. He's now got another lap on top of this one that he's got to take. So as we now watch the cars make their way through, last gasp efforts on the card, certainly for many of the drivers here at Spa, as they now work their way in towards bus stop. The RPM car also trying to get its way through further back, as we're now seeing what looks to be car number 46. Now that's interesting. I believe that is Gabriele Mini. Gabriele Mini off the circuit. Now that is something that we did not expect. He was second in the classification, fighting for the race lead and the race win, and he's out of the car. Gabriele Mini, and you can just see the look on his face. He is absolutely devastated. Absolute scenes here, certainly on the final lap. He only had 1 lap to go after this one, and unfortunately now is bailed out of the car. Big shame there, certainly for him, and of course ART as well, who probably would have had high hopes and expectations leading into this race. And Dino Beganovic now, I'm sure it's worked in his favour at this point in time, as we're now seeing Hadrian David come down as well. And we're seeing Lawrence Van Hoopen with Sebastian Montoya, and there's another one off as well. That's Victor Bernier, who's off into the gravel, and he can't get back going. The rear tyres stuck in the gravel, and he's unable to spin the car back onto the track. And there is a very forlorn Gabriele Mini. Big shame, certainly for ART and for him as well. It was going so well, 2nd place. It would have been good points on the table. Not enough to usurp Beganovic, but at the same time, it would have meant a lot going in towards the latter stages of this championship. And certainly with the way it stacks right now, Beganovic is in the best position possible. He will have 1 lap to take after this one is completed. And Dino Beganovic will certainly be thrilled at the points that can be added now towards his championship charge, bringing him clear of the of his title competitor, Gabriele Mini, who has been in superb form all season long. So we're seeing some red flags being waved by the marshals, and that is a red flag, folks. A red flag on the very last lap of the race. And no doubt that would be due to the car that we had off the track further back, belonging to that of the stricken number 12. And that's it, folks. We've got a red flag at this point. The FA racing car, of course, off the grid. Well, certainly off the track. Victor Bernier having to leap out of it. So a red flag condition here. Obviously, we will get confirmation of the result. We'll have to see whether we do get back going, though at this point, it could be the case that we don't get back underway, seeing as it's the last lap of the race. But Beganovic leading the way. Sami Meguetounif, though, second overall at this point. We've got a replay here, and that is the spin from Victor Bernier. And the rear wheels spinning there in the gravel trap, just not able to get back going again. So a big shame there for Victor Bernier. And Dino Beganovic now, you could see their current leader with in behind as well. We've got Sami Meguetounif, Eduardo Barrichello as well in the podium places. Third place for Eduardo Barrichello. And they go past now the stricken 12 car, Victor Bernier, who is out of the car. They've got the crane coming across to lift it out of the gravel trap. And they'll have to look to come back again in our next race tomorrow, which is a big shame certainly for FA Racing. But nevertheless, you know, it's treacherous here at Spa. But great to see all the drivers okay. Gabriele Mini will be absolutely devastated his end as well. What could have been, he had second on the table in the palm of his hand, and it's been ripped away. Sami Meguetounif holding on to that position. Not only a rookie race win, but also a podium overall on the table for Sami Meguetounif. And Eduardo Barrichello with a wonderful performance this weekend as well, getting a podium to his name. Paul Aron in fourth as well. He was right in the mix of it. He was in the scraps. He had Meguetounif and Barrichello. And we've got some confirmation. We'll have some confirmation on the overall classification for you very shortly, folks. Beganovic is going to be your race winner. Subject, of course, to the results. We will bring them to you. And Gabriel Bortoleto, who managed to fight back as well. We've just got to give a hat tip to him. Gabriel Bortoleto at the back of the field, of course, after the engine change, has fought back, managed to get himself into 15th position. And what an effort it was from him. Adrian David, 17th himself as well. Remember, he was joined alongside Gabriel Bortoleto, both of them having the engine changes and managing to lift themselves from the back end of things. So a wonderful drive from them. Kaz Havercourt as well was in the mix of things with Lorenzo Fluxer Fornaroli, who has been leading the rookie championship this season so far. He managed to finish himself up in P7, just ahead of Kaz Havercourt. Lorenzo Fluxer as well, just ahead of him. As now we watch Beganovic make his way through bus stop chicane. And they will bail into the pit lane as well, all in tandem. Sami Meguetounif following on in behind. Barrichello in third place as well, just in behind. As we now watch the cars now head in through the pit lane. But a great race, lots of battling, lots of overtaking. And it was all really from that first lap, because we saw the likes of Beganovic and, of course, Gabriele Mini going side by side. Mini was unfortunate, not able to manage to get ahead there of Dino Beganovic. But as Beganovic now lifts himself out of his car, he will replace the steering wheel back into place here in Parc Fermé. And will it be a celebration? I'm sure it will be. Here comes Dino Beganovic. There it is. Celebrating here in style. A win for Dino Beganovic, the Swede. It was a tremendous drive. Defensive efforts in the first lap were very crucial against the threat of Gabriele Mini, who peppered the rear, tried to find him, but no, could not find his way through at all. And unfortunately was reduced to second for the majority of that race as well. And plenty of smiling faces there in the Prema garage. They continue a great run indeed, topping the championship, 340. As we now see more celebrations here as well in Parc Fermé. Lots of excitement here at Arden as Eduardo Barrichello celebrates with his teammates. And MP Motorsport no doubt doing the same as well. Of course, Sami Meguetounif was right in the mix of that scrap. But what an exceptional race here at Spa, as the drivers all way up here at this point. But a superb battle. And that middle sector being all the more crucial as well. We saw it all happen. A lot of drivers reeling in the time differences at that point, with the crucial overtakes being made at both Kemmel, mainly Kemmel. We did see a couple, though, heading in towards bus stop. say a couple, we saw quite a lot, didn't we, folks? But as we know, see the Prema team following on. There's Gabriele Mini's car, the ART. And we have got the current results. We have got Dino Beganovic, who's currently registered as P1. We've also got Gabriele Mini, currently registered in P2 as well. Sami Meguetounif in 3rd. Eduardo Barrichello in 4th as well. Paul Aaron in 5th. Lorenzo Fluxer in 6th place. Leonardo Fonaroli in 7th. Kaz Havercourt in 8th. Tim Tramnitz in 9th. Owen Tangavellu in 10th. Joshua Dufek in 11th. Roman Belinsky in 12th, with Santiago Ramos in 13th, with Marie Boyer in 14th, Gabriel Bortoleto in 15th place, with in 16th spot. We also have Esteban Masson, who finished in 16th spot, with Hadrian David in 17th. After that superb drive from the back, Matteo Capietto in 18th, with Lawrence Van Hoopen in 19th place, Victor Bernier in 20th. Sebastian Montoya finished in 21st after that little slip at the start of the race, with Joshua Dirksen in 22nd, Noel Leone in 23rd, Francesco Braschi in 24th spot, with Matthias Agazetta in 25th, Pietro Deli Guante as well further back, as we see them all come through. Ander Alquabasi in 27th, Delano Van't Hoff in 28th, Pietro Armani was 29th, Levante Revez in 30, with Poitou Visnicki 31st, Nicolas Baptiste in 32 spot, of course. Nicola Marinangeli not classified at this point. But yeah, Gabriele Mini, obviously they went back to the previous lap. Those are the results as we have them, folks. So Gabriele Mini instated in 2nd for the time being, with Dino Beganovic winning. Obviously no disputing that one. And certainly was a great drive and superb battling across the field. As you can now see, Gabriele Mini just remonstrating, no doubt getting some updates from the team. And smiles on the face there of Gabriele Mini as well. I think he's just heard the result. And I think breathing a sigh of relief as well. But they'll have to take a look at the car, hope that there's not a huge issue on it. And they can then go again for race 2 tomorrow. But no less, he'll be relieved. I think that it's paid off at this point, and his hard work hasn't gone certainly unfinished. But no, wonderful stuff indeed. But what a race it certainly has been here at Spa. The sun has certainly been shining. We witnessed some great racing as well, which is exactly what we were hoping for. Plenty of action for you guys to watch at home. Dino Beganovic certainly gave us all of that big defensive effort heading through the first initial laps, with Gabriele Mini all over him. Sami Meguetounif also in that great scrap between him and Paul Aaron. And Eduardo Barrichello also coming in. And we will take a look at the highlights as well very shortly, folks, and show what action we had in store for ourselves at the start of this race here at Stavelot, of course, here at Spa-Francorchamps, as we will be getting you all that coverage very, very shortly. But we can now watch in style. Here we go. Here are the highlights. The start of the race, it was Dino Beganovic who got away very well in behind Gabriele Mini, tried it into Le Source, but Beganovic covered it off. Sebastian Montoya had a look down the inside of teammate Paul Aaron, got very close between that pairing. He rubbed off onto the grass at the very start. It was all near enough pretty clean. There was a moment in behind as well. The FA racing car got very close to the ART, I believe, of what looks to be Lawrence Van Hoopen, and that was Esteban Masson at that point. Heading through Les Combes, there, of course, Sebastian Montoya ventured into the gravel trap after a little collision with Paul Aaron, and all the cars there having to go past. Sebastian Montoya, unfortunately, was left with an uphill mountain to climb at that point. And there, of course, we saw more battling coming through in towards Le Source. Owen Tangavellu getting right into the mix of things, with also Esteban Masson looking to chase as well, heading through, but lost a position at that very point. It was also Victor Bernier who had plenty of action at his palm as well. Obviously, this was before the car had spun underneath him. And here, of course, Francesco Braschi got right into the mix of things with Lawrence Van Hoopen as well. But the action was constant. It was plentiful here at Spa, as we just watched Levante Revez just having to go off track. There is Victor Braschi there as well. It's been a pleasure, folks, bringing you the action here from Spa-Francorchamps. Absolutely tremendous stuff. We'll see you again soon.